A month ago, I told this channel that I'm completely scrapping the third draft of my current novel and rewriting it from the beginning. That I had revisited the manuscript through the lens of a moral architecture and felt that I was writing the wrong version of the right story. What I didn't tell you, because I didn't know it yet, is how the rewrite would feel from the inside. I am in about 16 chapters right now, and that's almost half the length of the entire novel. I have added about 10,000 new words, and the entire experience has surprised me because it was nothing that I expected. And I want to tell you what has surprised me because nothing has gone the way I expected it. The first surprise was the one that I least expected. I went into this exercise thinking that I am going to demolish the entire building, that this exercise would take me, months on end, and it would require totally rewriting the entire story from scratch. In contrast, the story has turned out to be pretty modular. I can keep whole sections, whole chapters, and whole plot sequences intact and untouched, yet at the same time, I can make radical changes elsewhere, and the rhythm of the whole thing still doesn't break. The story has turned out to be more resilient than I thought, and the structure has absorbed the changes. And instead of tearing down entire walls, I'm only discovering which walls are load bearing and which walls exist only as decoration. The second surprise has more to do with characters, and it's the one that I think I'll keep learning from for the entire duration of my writing life. I'm discovering as I spend more time with characters I'd previously treated as functional that they have full lives too. Past, present, future. Their motivations do not exist to serve the plot, but they do because they are people too. And people have desires and reasons behind everything that they do. And that's both exciting and terrifying because that means admitting that there's more to the story than I previously knew. It means that I have to let go of my earlier certainty, earlier decisiveness about the story and the characters. But here's the lesson that I'm drawing from it. There are no minor characters. Every character is a character. Every person in the story has a rich, full life, even if only a fraction of it is contextual for the story. And the fractions of their lives that appear in the story will only feel truer if the rest of their lives also exist somewhere, even if purely in the imagination of the writer and hopefully in the understanding of the readers as well. The third surprise is actually harder to talk about. I'm writing a book called Our Father's Gift, and at the center of the story is the question of how much of their souls are the family members of the Kaushal family willing to harvest to survive the gift that their father left them. Now that's a book about consequences, about karma, about choices that make people pay more than they had ever expected to. And writing that consequence-oriented universe means sometimes doing terrible things to your characters, and these are the characters that you have invested a lot of time in building up and in probably falling in love with. These are characters I deeply know. These are characters that the readers of the prequel or the first book, may be attached to, have expectations from, or feelings about. But perhaps that's what writing a story with real consequences demands. It will depend entirely on whether the universe that I'm building is honest and consistent enough. Only then will the consequences feel well earned, not arbitrary bad things happening to good people. But here's the insight that surprised me the most. Every draft is a different book. The first draft is where you discover the book. It's not really the entire book, it's just an exploration. It's that stage where you're telling yourself what you think the story is. The second draft is where you discover the emotional terrain, the people, the plot lines, the secrets they're holding. Sometimes these secrets are something that you had no idea about when you wrote the first draft. But this rewrite is where I'm building the connective tissue, which is the moral architecture governing the book and also the prequel. This architecture is the universe where consequences are real, the universe where the relationships are deeper, and every life is more meaningful. And I hope to achieve this by rebuilding the emotional logic of the universe brick by brick, chapter by chapter from the very first page. I also want to be honest about something practical. As the rewrite has deepened and I am adding plot and consequences to the story, the manuscript has obviously grown in size. And this is not something that I initially hoped for because I always wanted to write books that are, affordable, practical, and can be finished in a very short time. But again, I'm not too worried about the word count right now. That is something I'll handle in a future edit probably. The challenge is to maintain a perfect balance where, increased emotional weight does not lead to inflated word count. And every word, therefore, must earn its place. But perhaps it's finally becoming the book that was hiding beneath the surface of all the drafts that I've written so far. And I'm really happy about that. If you are in a rewrite right now, please feel free to share your experiences in the comments. I'm Subh Dasgupta. The book is called Our Father's Gift, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Thank you.